welcome back to my channel. So it is my nails. They are due an infill and a redesign, kind of. I really love this colour. It's not a colour, I don't normally wear a lot of blue nails. The reason I find some blues just, I don't know, they just bother me. I just don't like them on me. But this is Lotus from Moyra, and it's gorgeous. It is as my sister says, it's like a cornflower blue. I'm just using an old pair of nippers here just to clip off the gems. As you can see, they are well stuck down. I didn't lose any during this time, and I'm trying to support my nail whilst I take these off, which is not easy when it's your own nails. I like showing you how I do my nails, because you don't do your own nails the same way that you do somebody else's nails. And I find a lot of the techs, they try to do it as though they're doing somebody else's nails, and I don't always think that's particularly helpful. So I am coming in with my ceramic. This is a coarse, and I'm not actually touching my natural nail there. I'm just going around the edge of the acrylic nail. Basically just taking the top coat off is mainly what I'm doing on this. Now I e-file actually towards myself. This is the way I like to do it. And when I'm e-filing and somebody else as well, like with my sister, or I actually like to have their finger pointing kind of upwards a little bit so I can see down the barrel of the nail. You know, especially when you're trying to do the sides and you're trying to get everything back level again, I find that works really well. When you're doing an infill, the majority of what you're doing is on where the apex is, so you're doing the flat. So if you notice, a lot of that I'm not digging down at all, and you see my drill is actually flat, because all I'm doing, I'm taking off that top to flatten it down, ready to infill and move the apex back where it's supposed to be, which is in the back third. I don't touch the natural nail. I will come in and I will use a mandrel bit to do a lot of the final bits, and then to prep my natural nail ready to put the nails on. I don't think I had too many problems with this set. They are a lot longer than I would normally go. As in, you know, normally I would have infilled them by now, but I didn't have time to do them, and I wanted to cut this close because of an event that I was going to, that I wanted to have my nails done, you know, redone nicely for. So I left them a bit longer, and I did expect to pay for that, but actually I didn't, and it was all fine. Does anybody else really enjoy watching e-filing? I've noticed this, that even though, you know, there's no talking or anything going on, I actually quite enjoy watching them file back. Said this to my sister, she's like, "What, you weirdo?" And I'm like, this coming from the woman who, you know, listens to the shipping forecast, and literally watches paint dry sometimes. And yeah, I don't know, there's something quite enjoyable. So you see what I mean? I'm looking down the barrel of the nail as I am e-filing to make sure that I'm taking off the same amount of product on both sides. And this is basically just debulking the nail. I've got my e-file on around 9,000 RPMs. So really not, I mean, I know it goes up to 20,000, but I would never, ever use it at that speed. And yes, people say, oh no, you need it at a higher speed. Well, so long as it's not skipping and it's not stopping, which as you can see, it isn't, then it's fine. You go with what you're comfortable with. You know, these things can damage you, and you should always be safe than sorry in my view. I don't put pressure down, as you can see, you know, the nail isn't moving. I'm not, you know, pushing it right down as I'm e-filing it. I'm letting the e-file do the work and I'm just guiding it where I want it to go. Right, so I've finished all the rest of these and now what I'm going to do, I'm just coming around with my mandrel bit, and I find it great for getting any little bits of lifting, especially in those corners. Instead of using a file, which you tend to catch a bit of your skin, especially when you're doing it yourself, you cannot move your skin out of the way enough. That I find the mandrel bit works really, really well. This is on about between 3 to 4 RPMs. So it's really, you know, gentle. If I put any pressure on this, that it would stop. And so all I'm doing is just cleaning up around that edge, making sure that's all nice and flush, making sure there's no lifty bits left there, and just etching the natural nail as well, obviously being really, really gentle. And again, I find using an e-file actually for this works a lot better for me because I don't kill myself with a file. When you're using, you know, a full length file, especially on yourself, it is just trickier. Whereas the e-file, I hold it like I'm using a pencil, and like I can just do tiny little movements, as you can see here, that just get into those bits. So I'm not putting any pressure on this, and I'm just kind of like dabbing it almost, just to get those bits off. And you can really get into those areas then as well, which I really, really like. Just realised I've got a really loud ticking clock in the background because I'm currently sat in my son's room. I've been relegated to my child's room. Brilliant. Yes, my kids are currently snuggled up in my bed watching a film on my telly. My husband is currently downstairs on the telly downstairs watching his programmes. I got a load of voiceovers to do, and I was like, where am I going to sit to do these? I can't sit downstairs because you'll either hear him, the TV, or I will be annoying him. So I was like, right, okay. It's the choice of the bathroom or a child's bedroom, and this one smells a lot nicer than the other ones does. Boy smell, lovely. So I'm currently sat in that bedroom, so I apologise for the sound of the ticking clock. You will either really, really like that and it will help send you to sleep, or it will really annoy you. And now I am the kind that I find ticking clocks really, really annoying. My son, however, he finds it relaxing and he drifts off to sleep, which is why he has a ticking clock. Yeah. Anywho, so we are just going to finish prepping those. Okay, so once that's all done, I've dusted them off, used a bit of IPA just to clean them. Then I'm going to come in with some primer just around dehydrator just around the natural nail. And then I will come in with my Pro Bond acid-free primer. I think. Oh no, I don't, because I am using Max Adhesion by Nair Nails, which means I don't need to use a primer. Or I don't have to use a primer if I don't want to. Which is sometimes great because I do actually sometimes just forget completely what I'm doing. So all I'm going to do is just come in with a little clear layer just on to the natural nail part and just swiping off any excess. This is just because I'm going to put a colour down on these again and I don't want it to stain my natural nail. It also means I've got something to file back to if I do want to redesign these. I am going to do another infill and redesign on these, however, before I change them completely. My natural nail is pretty much as long as these nails are now. As you know, I extended the tips. So in this set, there's still quite a lot of growth waiting for my natural nail to catch up with where I am. But by this point, so I think these are now a couple of weeks. Let's have a look. Yeah, coming on 2 weeks ago. So yeah, I will redesign them again. I'm not fully sure what I'm doing. I kind of have an idea what I want to do, but I'm not fully with it yet. Not fully with it. I haven't fully decided yet. I will see how the mood takes me, I think. In fact, just as I've been talking in this voiceover, I've just had another idea pop into my head. I may need to go and have a little think about that. Okay, so then I'm just going to come in with the lotus just to fill in. Now, when I did the first set, I did the glitter over the top of the blue. So this time I'm putting the blue over the top of the glitter. So it will just make a little bit more of a different ombre, if you like, because it's going the other way round. I still do not actually like covering glitter up. I have decided I just don't. I love glitter too much and it's just wrong. Sometimes I'll do it, but yeah, most of the time I'm like, no, I want the glitter. Give me the glitter. So the middle two fingers, my ring finger and my middle finger, they're going to stay blue because we are going to do some nail art and crystal work on those. And then the ones with the glitters, which is the pinky, the index and the thumb, they are all just going to stay as they are because there's no reason for them not to. And then I will cap over the top of the infill because obviously these are not strength powders, so they do need to be capped, and it just, make sure that I've got my apex. I have my apex back where I want it to be. I'm going to let you watch this bit and then I'll be back with you in a moment. So here we go. I am now just going to cap over the top of these. I did put a little bit too much on this one. But you know my principle, I'd soon have a little bit too much than not enough at all, because at least I can always file it into shape, which is always a very good thing. Now on my index finger, it does kind of shape down a little bit. So what I did with some of them, I actually put a little bit more on top, which meant that I could kind of file underneath a bit more, just to make sure that the shape was better. Oh, there you go, bit of capping. So that's what I'm going to do to all the rest of them. Okay, and then we're going to move on to the stamping part. So this is a Moyra stamping plate. And I'm coming in with some Born Pretty stamping polish and my clear jelly stamper. Isn't that beautiful? Now, I couldn't work out if these are lilies. I was going with lilies, but then somebody did say they could be like a little bit of a lotus. But I'm going with lilies, which was very important for the event that I was going to. So now I'm going to come in with some crystals. Again, I'm using the Mint Minx crystals from Crystal Parade in order to do this set. And then I'm just using some Moyra Cavier beads, and I think I'm using them in the smallest size. So I've put my chi gel on. I'm going to put my top coat over the top. And then I'm going to come in and I'm going to put my gems on. I do actually come and do a second layer of top coat over the top once the caviar beads are on. Because at the time I hadn't decided if I was going to do caviar beads or not. Then I did, and obviously I just wanted to seal the caviar beads in. I mean, at this point, 2 weeks down, I've lost half the caviar beads off this middle finger. And actually, I've only lost a couple off the ring finger right at the edges, which I think is pretty impressive, actually. The only thing that is a downside is the pearls. Now, bizarrely, the pearl on one of my hands, so my right hand, has completely turned white now. It's lost any of its coating whatsoever. The one that you're going to watch on this hand, it's still got the majority of it, actually. It's only right at the top where it looks like it's been scuffed, where it's gone. But that is the problem with pearls, and I don't know how to get around that problem. Other than, you know, top coating them, but it's hard to top coat them when they're then covered in crystals, because you don't want to get the top coat on the crystals. Yeah, I don't quite know how to work that one. Right, so let's move on to this hand. This is all going to be crystals, and I'm going to make it's a cuff, but it's a long cuff that's going all the way round one side. And I'm just going to let you watch crystal placement, because again, like filing, I just quite enjoy watching it. So I'm going to let you watch. And as you noticed, I've moved rooms as well. There is no more ticking clock. You will be pleased to know. So that's all of the crystals done, and the caviar beads, I am just finishing those off. I really love these. I really, just those extra caviar beads just on the ends just really finished it off for me. And then obviously just putting some just round the gems as well, or round the crystals even. It just gives it that little bit extra. I do actually find with caviar beads, using a orange stick like I have works a lot easier. And I just dip it in a bit of top coat. And then when I come to top coat, I do come and top coat this nail again to go over the caviar beads. Obviously once it's all been cured in the lamp. And then all I'm going to do now is I'm just going to top coat these final nails, and then that is it. So I really hope you've enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye!